So it is now 12:33 or 12:34 a.m. right now. I am actually half asleep, but I figured let me, while I have it circulating in my head and it's kind of, and the iron is somewhat hot, let me get this video out the way. And actually, I'm going to be getting a couple of videos out of the way over the next couple of days from people that have asked me to make a video on certain topics. And in the case of one person, they asked me this like December of last year, 2018. So the reason why I didn't get to that sooner, apart from the fact that I'm just busy and just don't really care about YouTube like that, is because I didn't see their stuff until I happened to check the spam folder in Thunderbird before I did a mass cleaning. So there's that. So yeah, we're gonna get a couple. Well, no, this is just one video, but we're gonna get a couple done over the next couple of days, and just to get them out the way, so I don't forget about them. And going forward, I'll try to be a bit faster, a hell of a lot faster, as far as responding to people with any question they might have, that they might have a video or want a video on, and so on and so forth. So the first one comes from, and I hope I can make sure I get this name right, Filmon Tewolde. Tewolde or Tewolde, I'm not sure, but Filmon Tewolde. And his question is, can you do a video on the economy and the state of the US dollar? The US dollar is collapsing and becoming worthless. If you are aware or not, the US is headed to a hyperinflation. YouTube Venezuela hyperinflation, if you are unaware, that has collapsed. YouTube preppers rethinking the dollar. Okay, so in answering this one, there's actually a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna touch on with this. And it's all going to be a part of the answer to his question of sorts. So directly about this whole U.S. dollar thing. Now, I am not an economist. I am not. I don't have any kind of credentials or like a degree or certification in economics or finance or anything like that. But I'm going to borrow a little something that I heard from Aaron Clary. I'm pretty sure some, if not most of you, probably know who he is, since he is an actual, I guess, economist or finance. He has a degree in that stuff, and, he's been in the banking industry, so, he has somewhat of a first-hand or front-row seat to that. And that is, yes, okay, so US dollar is collapsing and becoming worthless. It's been collapsing and becoming and again, I'm using some of his knowledge, some of the things I learned from him, and just some of the things I learned from other people, because I've been on this rabbit hole of watching all these financial collapse videos. If anybody remembers Vision Victory, he then switched to Victory Independence. Then there's the one Inflation.us and stuff like that. I saw that documentary Melt Up, or mini documentary Melt Up. I've been down that rabbit hole of global collapse and an SGT report or something like that. I've gone down that road. So as far as this whole financial collapse thing goes, yeah, it's been happening. It's been going on for a while now. I won't even talk too much about how everybody keeps predicting next year, May of next year. Now they're saying 2020 is going to be the hell, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, 2020, that's going to be it. Kind of like people talk about in the past about how, oh my God, Jesus is coming back now. Pack up, look up, pack up, pray up, look up, we're going up and all that shit. It's been like that for a while now. The economy the US dollar and the economy has been crashing for a while, and has been slowly dying for a while now, for decades, long before I was even born. And the simple fact of the matter is, Yeah, it's getting worse, but it's getting worse slowly. It's more like aging versus a slow, gradual adjustment versus a fast, swift adjustment, right? It's aging fast, but aging. So it's collapsing. Things have gotten more expensive. I remember back in the '90s, we had 90 cent. What was it? 90 cent or like $1 even gas, a gallon gas. That shit's not coming back. I remembered here in the DC metro area, a 2 hour pass was 90 cents and an all day pass was like $1.10 or some shit like that. I don't even know what the hell the prices are now. But back in 1993, those were those prices. So the prices have gone up, right? And they're staying up. Like they're not. There's like about two or three, two going on three or three going on four generations now of people that have been born that have no idea what prices were like. But well, you get my point. So this whole thing of, oh my god, it's collapsing. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is collapsing. Fine. Nothing lasts forever. No empire lasts forever. Oh my god, Babylon, Rome, and all that stuff. Egypt. Okay, fine. Taken directly from Aaron Clary now, who else is there? And I'm paraphrasing essentially. Like I'm paraphrasing and adding my own stuff here. But who else is there? As bad as the U.S. is, and let's be honest, the U.S. is bad. There's nobody else. All of the people that are infinitely better than the U.S., they are just too small in whatever way that matters. I guess physically too small from a land standpoint, population-wise too small, economically too small. They're just too small. Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Cayman Islands, like all one or two people that live on that island or something. I don't know. Whatever. It's just too small. And then the ones that could actually do it, Brazil, Russia, China, maybe even Japan, maybe, they are hopelessly fucking corrupt. And I think that they're all equally corrupt in the worst way, but the problem is that the rest of them are overtly hopelessly corrupt, whereas America is covertly hopelessly corrupt. So at the very least, America looks like the tallest midget in the room, the best smelling piece of shit on the road, or So where's anybody gonna go? And that is one of the reasons why, after I heard that and I thought about it, like, that's the reason why I'm not really caring about this whole collapse thing. Because when it comes down to it, at least from what I'm seeing, if the U.S. goes down, a lot of other people are going to go down first, and the U.S. is going to be the last one down, and everybody else is pretty much going to break the fall of the U.S., Now, as to who the hell gets back up first, maybe the person that fell first and hit the ground first, they recover, and by the time the U.S. finishes falling last, that person's already on their feet and it's going to come up. That's a separate thing. But, like, as far as everybody falling, the U.S. is probably going to be the last one to fall because it is, according to Aaron Clary, the best game in town. It sucks. They're all midgets, but the U.S. is the tallest midget in the room, So when you need to jump 10 feet, everybody else is 1 foot tall. The U.S. happens to be 3 feet tall. The minimum needed is like, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet tall, but hey, So there's that. I'm not really worried about this. Plus, and this now goes into the prepper, the whole actual prepper thing. I'm not worried about it. Look, as far as this whole prepping thing, the basic prepping is stuff that people should be doing anyway, and it shouldn't even be prepping. It should just be basics of life. I don't know, have 6 months worth of expenses in an account. Buy your food in bulk. I mean, hell, if it's just me and my girl here and the cat. Actually, we got another cat now. I wanted my own cat, so there we have two cats now. Maybe I'll show him to you in another video sometime. But we buy in bulk. Hell, if I was living by myself, I'd still be at Costco buying in bulk, right? Because it's the cheapest thing. It's the most economical thing. And even though it's a hell of a lot more, it works out to be cheaper, which means a minimalism of spending. Once you work that math out, which makes it better, superior, whatever. But then you get into what the standard issue thought that people have when they hear the word prepper, and that is, oh my God, bug out bags, and oh my God, living off the land, and all these practical, tactical, special ops, spec ops knives, and extreme tactical black ops with the scope and the rifles and stuff, and oh my God, the camo and all that shit, and this and that and all that kind of stuff, and oh my God, we need to get a group of like-minded people. Look, if it gets to some kind of post-apocalyptic Book of Eli, if anybody knows that movie, with I believe it was it Denzel Washington? Or was it Lawrence Fishburne? I think it was Denzel Washington. Whoever, whatever. If it gets to that kind of shit, like, look. First of all, let me just get this out the way right now. Your gold isn't going to mean fuck all. Like, if it gets to that kind of post-apocalyptic, pre- or post-nuclear wasteland type shit, your gold, your silver, all that shit that you stocked up doesn't mean a fucking thing. You can't eat it, you can't do whatever, and it's not going to mean anything because there's no economy, right? So then the next thing, okay, man, oh my God, your guns and this and that. Yeah, those are great until the bullets run out and nobody's making more because the entire world is some desolate wasteland, right? So guns are all well and nice until the bullets run out, right? So if you don't know how to fight hand to hand and probably have some kind of weapon that doesn't get rusty, so no swords or dull or doesn't run out of ammo or can jam, so no guns, you're kind of fucked. Right? So if it gets to that point, the ultimate question you also have to ask yourself is, do you want to live in that kind of world anymore? Like, do you really want to survive and thrive in that kind of world? Because if it's one thing that I remembered, and I forgot the guy that said this. It was some guy whose house I was renting a room out of. We got to talking and blah, 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 blah. And one thing that he said that stuck with me the first time I heard it, I never forgot it. He said, look, if there's some massive world war, just some gigantic war that destroys the whole world, or the world as we know it, we're fucked. We're done. Why? Simple, because all the resources that humans used to get to the point where we are in the world, no matter if it's a third world country, first world country, whatever, all the resources that we use, those are gone. If we blast ourselves back to the Stone Age, that's it. Okay, there's no coming back from that, right? The amount of years or decades or hundreds, millions, billions, trillions of years that needed to get the amount of oil, the amount of diamonds, the amount of whatever, to get to the point where we are now, it's not there anymore. So you got to ask yourself, do you really want to live in that kind of, again, pre or perhaps even post nuclear wasteland where, it's I don't know. Do you really want to live in that? Or do you want to just enjoy life now, and if shit goes to hell, hopefully you're one of the ones that die, and so your problems are over, I mean, as harsh or as bad as that might sound. Okay, so there's that. That's why I'm going to be honest, I'm not doing any prepping. I'm not doing any of that prepping stuff. None of it. Because I'm just like, look, if shit gets really that bad, oh wow, you saved up a year's worth of food. If shit gets to the point that you all are thinking of, it is going to take a lot longer than a year to get everything back to some semblance of actually no, normal is never coming back. It's just never gonna come back. So save up 10 years worth of food. Okay. Then you got to think of yourself, then you got to ask yourself, all this food is going to need to be stored somewhere, so I'm essentially anchored down to this food. If I try to move with it, I'm going to be a slow-moving wagon. That's going to make me a big fucking target for whoever the hell is some fast, swift-moving creature that can come and take my shit. And again, God forbid, guns jam, bullets run out, then what? You know, so there's that. I don't think all these people thought it through that much. Now then, let's just say it doesn't get to that. Oh my God, financial, economic collapse. Okay. We've been through that. The US is the best game in town, because all the better games in town are too small to be of any consequence, and all the worst games in town, well, they're the worst games in town, even though they could replace the US. You know, in theory. So there's that. Let me see what else this man had. Venezuela. I'm real suspicious about that whole thing with Venezuela, because if anybody's read, was it Diary of an Economic Hitman? I forgot who it was by. A lot of what's going on in Venezuela I've seen before, and I don't mean seen like I've seen personally, but I have heard before from a number of different sources. So, no doubt Venezuela's situation is bad, but I'm wondering if it's really as bad as they're saying, or if it is just bad, but not as bad as Western media is portraying it to be. So, there's that. Yeah, I'd like to see Venezuela with my own two eyes versus trusting Western media. Hyperinflation, yeah. I mean, the only way that America falls flat on its face is if everybody else, as a collective, the whole rest of the planet, Europe, Africa, Asia, and everything, just say, you know what, fuck it. We all get out of the way, let America fall flat on its ass, and then we all cover it and fight amongst ourselves for whoever the hell is going to get what. But everybody's holding the U.S. up on stilts. Get out the way, let them fall, impale themselves on the stilts, and then everybody try to, like vultures, pick off as much of the meat as they can. So there's that. Now, taxes. Taxes is probably the last part of this. I wish this new... I switched, not switched, I had to switch programs from the old Logitech webcam to some new thing, and it doesn't show me how long I've been running my mouth here. But taxes. Oh, taxes. This might not be as directly related to the question, but it's similarly or related or distant cousin or something to the question. Taxes. I have really got to ask the left and the right why they haven't seen what I'm about to say right now. And we all know the left argument on taxes. Oh, they don't pay their fair share and all that stuff. And then the right argument on taxes. Oh my God, you keep taxing us, and then you're gonna get rid of production and this and that and whatever. Okay. My question is quite simply, why hasn't it happened yet? I mean, we can sit here and talk all we want about who's not paying their fair share, and I've already went into that in my Amazon video, which is like, what, 2 videos back? Okay. So my question goes to the ones talking about, oh my God, production, and oh my God, we're already taxed so much as it is. Why hasn't it happened yet? What the hell am I talking about? Why haven't these people that have been threatening, oh my god, if you tax the rich so much, the more you tax them, the more they're just gonna go galt and take their money and go elsewhere and just not produce anymore, the producers won't produce. Considering how much people bitch about taxes and how much the rich bitch about taxes, why, supposedly, and you'll see why I say that in a second, why hasn't it happened yet? Getting into it. Who's the one making the tax laws? That's the politicians. Who are the politicians beholden to? It's not the average person. It's whoever the hell is paying for their campaign. Who's the one paying for their campaigns? The rich. The rich are the ones that have the money to do so. Poor people all band together don't have the money to do so, so individually they sure as hell don't have the money to do so. It is the rich. So do you honestly think that the rich, left or right, I don't trust this Cortez lady, not because, oh my god, she's liberal left and she's saying all this shit. No, I don't trust any of them, okay? This bitch, this Ocasio-Cortez bitch with the eyes and the teeth and just a whole freaking mouth, she goes from being some bartender doing God knows what for tips, and now she is in the quote-unquote big leagues, making big league money, right? That bitch ain't gonna want that. She's not gonna want that to end, okay? She's not going back. It's kind of like that one Middle Eastern girl that was working at Hooters, and then I think some black NFL dude went and got with her, and then after a while he wanted to break up from her, and then she, I think, killed him. She's not trying to go back to fucking Hooters after she got that rich lifestyle. You know, she got a taste of that. Same thing here. This Cortez lady, all the Democrats and all the Republicans, they're not going back to whatever the hell they were doing, especially if what they were doing was some proletariat shit. Like being in a bar, right? So they're going, and okay, so how then do they stay there? They take the fucking money. They take the money. They take the monies, right? Go through this bitch with a laser tooth comb, and I guarantee you, sooner rather than later, but eventually, you will find that this Cortez lady, that Biden, that Sanders, and every one of them, despite what they say, they are getting their pants, their wallets lined with donations from rich people. Nobody goes into anything. Whether they come out with anything or not, they don't go into anything not trying to get anything from it. You don't go into boxing trying to come out broke. You don't go into football or MMA or anything trying to come out with as much or less money than you went in with. And considering how politics is free money, essentially, right? No, you go in there, you turn the vacuum on, you make sure that the bag is endless, right? And you start sucking that shit up. She is not going. So, they're not about to make any kind of rules or laws or anything that hurts their money. So you got to ask yourself, who then is making these tax laws that are supposedly hurting the rich, or supposedly will hurt the rich? And the rich already complain about tax as it is. That's why they have to do all these offshore havens and stuff to try to protect their money, because they're getting taxed so much. Right. Okay. Again, who controls the ones that are making the laws? It's not the regular people. Right. And then the second part to that goes, why haven't they left yet? Why hasn't production stopped? Why in the hell are companies still producing? If the taxes are just oh so bad and they're just oh so egregious and oh my god, and we got to offshore haven our shit to be able to keep, why haven't they stopped? Why haven't the producers stopped producing? Why haven't they taken all their money out of the U.S. and just, why hasn't Bill Gates moved? Why hasn't Warren Buffett moved? Why the hell hasn't all these people, you know, and just completely check out the U.S. lock, stock, and barrel? Like, why haven't they done that yet if it's oh so bad for them? Everyone is lying, okay? The Republicans are supposed to seem like they're for big business and for low taxes and all that stuff, and the Democrats are supposed to seem like, oh my God, we're for the little people and we're for taking all the money and doing whatever. Look, first of all, these rich people, if they really had a problem, actually, let me not say that. Let me put it to you like this: left or right, same, left wing, right wing, same bird flying in same direction. Okay. This whole left right argument on taxes, Jesus H, man. This whole left right argument on taxes is all BS. Because the simple fact of the matter is, if anybody had a problem with the taxes, they need to go to the people taking the taxes, which is not the rich, it's not the poor, it's the government. Why the hell does the government need as much money as it needs? Make do with what I mean, hell, I keep saying 5%. How do you get 5%? Don't worry about all that. I just look, 5%, all right? Shit. Do you want to take home less than 5%? Or get charged more than 5%? No? Okay then shut the hell up. 5% it is. And make the government make do with 5%. There's no tax loopholes, there's no tax write-offs, no nothing. Everybody a flat rate of 5%. Somebody making $20,000 a year, somebody making $20 trillion a year. 5%. Done. And the government make do with that. And if you can't make do with that, oh, I guess you won't, but you're not getting more than 5% of that. That's just my personal thought, okay? However, left wing, right wing, whoever the hell gets the money, whoever the hell gets control of the reins, the rich are making the rules. They're the ones who are controlling the politicians who are making the rules, so therefore, by proxy, the rich are making the rules. But yet, we have a problem with taxes. Does that sound right to you? Exactly. It's all a fucking joke. This whole left-right battle that people are getting into, and nobody's sitting here asking, wait a minute. We all know, we've all heard, oh my God, the rich pay the politicians. Everybody knows that. That's common knowledge. But yet the rich are supposedly complaining, even though they've had the politicians in their back pocket for God knows how long now, however many decades or perhaps even hundreds of years, who knows. But yet they still complain about the taxes, even though they can get that shit changed overnight because they control the people that are doing it. Is it starting to make sense now? This is why I laugh whenever I sit here and listen to any kind of left-wing argument about taxes more or less, or some right-wing argument about taxes more or less. I laugh at the whole thing. I don't see anybody leaving. I don't see anybody going galt. I don't see the producers stop producing. I don't see any of that stuff happening. But yet I keep hearing, oh, that's going to happen if taxes get raised, but yet taxes are supposedly oh so bad as it is. Even though the taxes were roughly in the range that this Cortez bitch was asking for back in the when was it, 1950s, 40s, whatever the hell? Sometime way back then, the tax rate was that much and production kept going. It was growth. There was growth there, you know. You know, feel free to go look it up if you don't believe me. So, you know, I'm sorry. I don't listen to debates or arguments when it comes to taxes from any side, left, right, independent, top, down, center, whatever, in, out. I don't. It's all a joke to me. I don't know how the hell nobody's asking that simple question. The regular people don't control the politicians. The politicians make the laws, and the people that are controlling the politicians are the rich. So how the hell then are the rich also disadvantaged in this case, taxes? I used to do Uber, and then doing Uber, especially consequentially, meaning you make as much as you could in as far as consequential money. I had to run that shit like a business with the expenses and all that shit and the write-offs and all that. And I can tell you right now, if me making, what the hell did I make my first year doing Uber? 50,000 something? And then it went to 40,000 something the second year, and then now the third year, oh God knows what the fuck that is. I didn't pay anything in taxes, and that's just from my lowly Uber bullshit? Yeah. Okay, you're not about to tell me that some huge multinational conglomerate, or even just some huge enterprise in one country, doesn't have a hell of a lot more ways of paying nothing in taxes, despite complaining and getting into this whole argument of, oh my God, fair share, and oh my God, who pays, and oh my God, taxes are too high, and all that shit, corporate tax and all that shit. Yeah, no, sorry, no. So yeah, hopefully that all of that answers your question, and I'm going to stop here before I start repeating myself or I start rambling or something. I am starting to shut down. I feel myself shutting down. I'm getting tired. It is now 1:06 a.m. Wouldn't surprise me if I've been talking for over an hour, which I don't like doing. But yeah, so there's your answer. Sorry it's been, what, over a month? But, you know, sorry. Anyway, later.